but like, you know, you get the idea. All right, sorry, Isaac. Which game was it? Was it this one? No,
Yeah,
no,
Gibraltar.
Gibraltar. All right.
Arriving at watch point ready for battle.
Oh, Shatter. 2B.
Is that a different person?
uh, I probably. I don't think it's real Shatter. Wait, is this the real Vol though? What level is this guy? Do you remember?
They get a plat board or so.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I think it's the real Vol.
Who's Vol?
He was on LG Evil with Jake back in the early days.
Still plays, huh?
I guess.
I'm trying some cheese out, as you can probably tell.
Oh, you're playing Rein? I see. They're also playing Rein, so, you know, I guess it's a fair fight. Is this the real Obomans? No. None of these people are the real Obomans. I'm also not the real Obomans. Alright, so what was your plan for this game, by the way?
Clear high ground. Sit there. Get card under.
Okay, fair enough.
Because like I've always had a lot of trouble, especially because I got Zarya. It's like I've had a lot of trouble clearing high ground just like as a monkey. So. If you got like four or five guys sitting at high ground, it's like a Zarya on the low ground. It feels fucking awful when I jump up.
Oh. You're still subbed following Obomans? Oh, thanks for the follow, Isaac.
About time, right?
I'm so close to 50. Then I can get points. I mean, this is fine. You haven't really committed to anything, but you probably could have pinned at least once in this whole sequence. To be honest.
I just walked at them and they die.
I mean, yeah. I mean, your Widow just killing them all, and then you just kind of like sitting there. I mean, we take those, but I'm not sure like there was anything specific you really did there.
I pressed W.
Yeah, I wish you did more of this pinning earlier when they were in full retreat, though. Because like you were up by so much. Rip from a McCree kill. So don't pin here, obviously, right? But when this Rein drops like this, and you know that his backup is like not in the best spot to pin him or to help him, this is like a decent pin, right? There's no honor to punish you, right? Dude, you still have a video uploaded on Twitch. You're blessed. Do I? What? Okay. On the Oboman's account? What the? Then when you're chasing here, right? This is fine. Like I would like I've considered pinning this as well, right? It's like pinning straight, or once and then once you get and then once like again it's like a Diva, a Rein, and a Lucio. They actually have very little like burst damage for you. The only thing to watch out for like are DPS or Anas, and they have neither, right?
I was tempted, like I was tempted, but like that's why I looked down at the cart and I was like, yeah, they're probably a little too far back for me to do something too stupid.
I mean, just think about like what they have here, right? Again, you run out these heuristics of like distance a little bit too much, right? Like we talked about this during the VOD as well, right? Like if they do, if like in this case, right, they have no damage, they have no threat on their supports. The supports are very like non-threatening for you, Bap and Lucio, outside of like Window, to be honest. So just go for it, right? Like they have no damage. And if like you do need to buy time, like if it turns out like it's a losing fight, you like again they don't have the best damage for you anyway, so you can buy time for your Bap, right? Right, there should be a pin in here as well, probably. And, like, you get a lot of ult and you win at this point, but like it wasn't because of like anything in particular that you did, right? I mean, you did like you didn't feed, but you know. Oh, that video! I forgot about that one. That lamp is super early. Alright, you gotta stop worrying about this and worrying about this, right? So this Fire Strike is really, really greedy. So like, you're not gonna push in this window, right? You're chilling, you're just chilling, right? You're trying to help your Zarya peek a bit, right? And you're full HP, right? Boom, fire strike, you lost 330 health. Right? Like,
Yeah.
why did you need to throw the fire strike into a D.Va that ate it immediately, right? Instead of just waiting, not taking damage, right? As we talked about, when there's problems in your backline, right? This is just too greedy, right? And it's a D.Va. Like, what are the odds you actually get the fire strike in there, you know?
Mhm.
And now you're running for your life, right? And you also have no lamp. This forces out an early bubble, right? And the whole fight's going to pieces. It's the Akaho. Akoha. It's the alpha. Ah. Yeah, let's go with that, Will. Yeah, and then the entire rest of the fight you're running away and trying to get health back, right? This is what you do all the time, right? Which is why you're always behind the tempo with like the team, right? It's like you take damage when you absolutely don't have to for no benefit, right?
Mhm.
Like, and if you hit the fire strike, maybe there was like technically some benefit, but this is literally no benefit, right? It was a D.Va.
Yeah.
Right, and you spent the entire rest of the fight, like, it's like getting headshot sometimes, it's like a tank, right? Like, yeah, it doesn't kill you, but it really makes you sad. Which is why, Will, you should stop getting headshot as Zarya. Oh, you made it, nice.
Parkour.
Alright, so the problem here is that you sort of, like, after playing first point, in a way to, like, clear high grounds or at least apply pressure, right, and draw attention away from the cart, right, the whole time, right? Now you're doing the opposite, right? Now you're just playing under and walking cart. Do you see this?
Mhm.
So if you're gonna walk cart, everyone else should be going high ground, right? Your whole team should be walking up here, and you're sitting cart and baiting, right? I stare
Yeah.
at the window as she shoots me. If that's not happening, you need to be walking high ground and trying to convince people to follow you, right?
Yeah.
Because this is like, you're just losing because your Doomfist is solo contesting versus 5 people, right? And now you have no lamp, you have no bubble, right? Everything just kind of sucks.
See, I got there late.
Yeah, but like you walk this way and sat under the cart holding shield, watching them, right?
Mhm.
As opposed to like getting here late and be like, ah, I'm gonna go start going high ground. Someone come with me, right? Again, be careful pushing aggressively. There's problems in your backline, you know? This will probably work, but it's kind of sketch. Alright, I don't know about turning around at that point either. So, like, you know you left a D.Va behind you, and you know you hear a Tracer behind you, right? So instead of pushing this Rein, just turn around, right? And, like, go help your team, right? Or commit to pushing the Rein, right? And all in to kill him, right? But don't do it halfway, you know?
Yeah.
Like, you change your mind 3 times. First you change your mind and go for the Lucio, and then you, like, you try to trade with the Rein again, and then you change your mind again and come back, and then people die, right? So you accomplished none of your goals, right? You didn't deal with your backline, you didn't deal with the front line, you didn't kill the Lucio, right? The Lucio is probably impractical, but, you know. And you also didn't find a Shatter, which is, I guess, a tertiary goal. And also, again, where did they come from, right? Well, the D.Va walked past you, right? But where did, like, the Tracer come from? She came from above, right? Again, clearing the high ground is really important. Attention got split. It got so hard split. Yeah, exactly. Clearing high ground at this time. Nice. Somebody's dead. This Widow's popping off. Alright, you just saw Tracer go on your Widow, but you can't really control for that. Alright, you're taking the team to high ground. This is good. Alright, help your Zarya. Nice. I don't know about that Shatter. Again, do you see how like your face taking this window when there's literally like stuff happening in your backline still? Actually, was there? I thought there was, but maybe not. Oh, that was your Doomfist dying. Okay.
Where am I sorry? She's below me, right?
She was here and she died to bomb. Yeah.
Oh, unfortunate.
Yeah. Alright, reset here, that's fine. Oh. Hello. Alright, not gonna lie, you kind of left your BAP to die. Flopping. Alright. That's reasonable. Alright, so again, this is something I don't like to see actually. Is like when you're playing Monkey, you actually very rarely want to come from the high ground and walk out, right? Because if you look at it, there's zero cover up here, right?
Mhm.
So it's actually very difficult to walk high ground and go anywhere, right? Without eating a million damage. It's actually better to like maybe jump up, help your team clear the high ground, right? And then you drop, right? And you jump out from there to someplace you need to go, right? So one thing you can do, right, is like you can drop, you come out, right, and then see that there's no one like who, like if your car's out here, for example, you can just jump over to it and then sit on top of it, and then that now they have to do something, right?
Mhm.
And if they don't do something, you're either pushing the cart, or you're getting you're staging for free, right? This works a lot better if you have primal, by the way. But like right now, like you can just be walking the cart right now, and it's relatively inexpensive because if you look at their poke, what is their poke, right? It's like a Mei and like a Tracer above you. That's it, right? Maybe a BAP as well, right? But you just hide. You can LOS most of it, right? And with some basic help from your team, like you'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
But like,
Card pressure good.
yeah, card pressure good, right? But like walking into Tracer through high ground is not good. This is okay. Like you didn't get poked too hard, and then you also like cleared the Tracer out, so that's good. This is good. This is also good. I like the patience to not chase the bat, but you also probably should find a better target than the Lucio.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna shoot the Lucio, at least don't jump after him, right?
Where's the bat? I'm confused.
He was just playing above. I like this patient sitting on the high ground. You should probably jump up here. Yeah, okay. Alright. This jump is kind of bad because you just drop bubble, right? And it's better just kite the bubble, right? And be like make sure all your damage connects and that you know what's going on around you instead of jumping and introducing a lot of motion and potentially end up in the wrong place, right?
Yeah.
And then also, again, if you have jump, you can potentially contest someone like a Widow coming out over here, right? But now you've committed everything, you're locked in place, and you still can't zap anyone, you're really sad.
Trying to stagger those cooldowns, basically.
Yeah. That jump's also really questionable, right? Like the odds of you getting 50 damage here is pretty low. And then you don't jump to contest high ground if you really need to, right? It should be okay because the Tracer died, but you know, it's not necessary.
Sometimes I do it just to get some vision, but probably not worth enough.
I mean, they have to go on cart, right? They can only be so far away from cart, right? So if you just spin around, you'll find the guy eventually, right?
Yeah.
You shouldn't use jump as a replacement to buy time to aim, you know? When you can just sit on cart and then just like try to aim a little bit faster and then use the time that like you spend here to keep track of the target, like just keep flicking around until you find it, right? Instead of jumping up and then flicking around until you find him, right?
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because a lot of times you jump up, you find him, and now you're not in range to touch him anymore, and it's like, okay, well this sucks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't use like jumping up as a replacement for like doing other things. On insert GIF of the gorilla spinning across its zoo pen. Is that a thing? This is too early, right? This is your obsession with trading too much, right? What is your team doing?
They're not here. But honestly, the Doom was calling go to Swan, so I was like, okay, but I should have checked where he was.
Yeah, right? It doesn't matter what the comms are saying. You need to know what your team's doing. Because this is way, way, way too early, right?
Mm.
Yep. There you go.
Meteor strike.
Big sad.
Big sad. That's my DM, by the way. Sorry. this is fine. It's also fine. If you're playing here, I want to see you jumping like past them to the high ground, right?
Mhm.
And also in general, you probably should be playing really tight to the corner. Probably play a bit further out and then jump over here if you need to, right? Unless someone's actually playing on top of here. But I don't know. I'm not really sure why you need to drop in the first place. Like if you just play here, you can go over the high ground normally, right? And that way you don't eat a billion damage on the way up.
Mhm.
Like you're playing Reinhardt now. You're dropping bubble and kiting, right? Like this kind of sucks. You had primal.
He beat us. Was that worth? Oh,
Huh?
shit.
Well, they didn't beat for you. They beat it for the grab,
Yeah.
right? But you're not there helping on the grab, right?
I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah,
Sure,
but I mean, you have primal. You can just jump up here and if they push you, you primal, right? You can jump past them even. I wouldn't recommend that at this point, but like you can jump up, right? If the diva like starts looking at you and boosting after you have primal, right? You're not scared about getting pushed when you have primal. So in fact, like you don't want to like walk into them and die, obviously, right? But like if you come up to the high ground, right? You're applying threats still, right? They still have to look at you, and if they commit too hard, you primal, right?
Mhm.
But like you have primal and you straight up just a hard bail, you know? Like this is as hard bail as you can get, right? This is into the
So I
backline
can-
of your team.
I can just go top right and just sit there, basically.
Yeah, I mean you can
Yeah,
even
that's
just drop
primal.
down again. Like you're not. It's not like you're unwilling to use primal, right?
Mhm.
If they force you to primal, like it's no big deal. And if you get more damage that way, like that's totally fine, right? But the problem is this is like literally leaving the fight, right?
Yeah.
See you later, right? And now there's no follow up on this grab, right? And like you're not this BAP is sitting on high ground for free, right? Right, and now you use your primal anyways, despite the fact that you weren't actually eating pressure at the time, and you're approaching the same angle as your team, right? See how that works?
Yeah.
All right, my guy. So if you jump up like this, right? You see the BAP. You go like this. You don't see him drop down in front of you, right? And you jump up, and he's not in front of you. Where is he most likely?
Behind me?
Behind you, right? This is why you gotta get used to turning around more, because he's down there, right? That's him. You didn't see him drop. You jumped up. He's not in front of you, right? If he's not to your right, he's behind you, right? That's all. That's all he can beat, right? But like I don't know.
Where did he go?
Yeah, that's awkward.
Yeah, very awkward.
Don't run all the way. They can't chase, right? Just sit here, so that way, like you do this on run sometimes, where you run all the way out when you don't have to as well, right? Like you just sit here, right? If they push you, they're pushing into a massive concave. You make it harder instead for your BAP to heal you.
No one can hide from my sight.
Alright, that was fine. Chase from your backline. Don't chase this guy, you can't really do much about him, right? You can look at him to see if like you can potentially help with jump, right? But like chasing after him is like usually just a waste of time.
Yeah, I try to stop him from killing my widow, and I just can't.
This is not the play. Right? You're not a diva, right? You're a monkey. Like you can help if the Tracer's being dumb, right? But this is not being dumb. Tracer is like, he's doing her thing, right? So at this point,
Do
you should be looking to
I
do
just leave
this, right?
I just leave my widow to her fate?
I mean, sort of. I mean, you want to try. You should call it to your widow, right? And if you should look at the Tracer to see if you can impact if she spends all her or all her blinks or spends her recall, right? If your widow hits the shot, you want to capitalize on that, right? By like catching the recall afterward, right? But you don't want to like like if you're gonna chase at her, first of all, if you want to chase, right? This jump needs to land on her, right? It needs to force blinks or provide damage, right? This is useless, right?
Mhm.
Second is if like just in general, right? You don't do much here, right? Like you physically, it's very hard to land a jump on this guy, right?
Yeah.
So instead of trying to force it, right, just go do what Monkey is good at, which is this stuff, right?
Mhm.
Like how much do you meaningfully contribute versus this Tracer, right? Like again, the Tracer still kills your Widow. Your Widow still has to leave, right? And meanwhile, your team died, right? Right. So like you being here only slowed down the inevitable, right? Whereas like, and you didn't have any impact on the rest of the fight, right? switching again. Okay.
Justice. The battle has come to a halt. Get moving.
So, again, somebody is always going to be up here, right? So, if you're going to be playing this, right, you got to play slow and ask somebody to clear this for you, right? So don't like
Like,
walk straight.
it's too long for me to walk there myself, I think, right?
Yeah, it's kind of unrealistic. That said, if no one is doing this in like diamond or plat or something, I wouldn't mind you just walking up there if your team is like sitting in main or something, right?
Mhm.
Assuming you know they don't have shatter or something, right? But just in general, like you want to get people up here to clear this, and you play very patiently in main. You do not walk around this corner until then, right? You probably don't even walk up to the corner because that encourages you to trade, right? You just want to sit here and
Mhm.
say like, yo, clear the high ground, someone clear the high ground, right? And if necessary, you can even play like here to shield your team across, right? And convince them like someone to like go come up here, right?
I'm pretty sure I was calling this in the game. I said, hey, someone check high ground for Tracer.
Yeah, but until that happens,
But
right? Play patiently until your team makes clear that they're not doing it. You know, that
Mhm.
either they're doing it or they're not doing it. Either one causes you to like need to push, right?
Mhm.
But like you got to pay patiently while you confirm what your team is doing, right? In this case, your team has decided to go in, so now it's time for you to go in, right? But keep in mind there will be tracer in your backline. And at some point, you'll have to take your foot off the gas pedal, right? Make sense?
Yeah.
All right.
Can a Doomfist contest Tracer, or does it not work that
No,
way?
it's a terrible matchup. It only works if you get a free cooldown on the tracer by surprise, and even then you're still at a disadvantage. Unless you like punch her literally, which is like very unreliable. But yeah. I mean, you have a Hanzo, you have a Bap, or you have a Lucio, you have a Zarya. Like, you just need some heroes to go up here, right, and contest this. Where'd you go? He's down here, right? So this is the problem, right? Is like you're like they can take a fight now. Well, like multiple members of your team are distracted, right? Because this is 3 people looking at the tracer, maybe even four, right? And meanwhile, you guys are taking a fight. Do you see this?
Yeah.
Just deal with let the tracer especially if like you walk out, you bait an aggression, and then you walk back. This tracer will be baited into doing something dumb 9 times out of 10, and then she'll end up back with her team, and then you can push in with S6, right? There's just no need to do this right now, right? Because you know if the tracer's there, right? Oh, well, you know that first of all. Sorry, one sec. You know that someone is likely up there, right? And so until you confirm whether or not there is someone up there, play slow, right? Play patiently. And then when it's confirmed that there's no one up there, right? Then you got to do your thing, right? But instead of like walking in like this, just like turn around, quick check. Okay, so, someone just dropped. All right, I'm gonna play slow, right? And tell your Zarya like, hey, let's play slow, 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 right? And then when it's time to go in, you go in, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Now it's just super hectic. It looks like you guys came out okay though, but
60 seconds.
again, you keep pushing and trading, right? Instead of waiting for your turn, right? You see this? Right? So you're low on shield, you're kind of low-ish on health, right? And there's a tracer shooting on your left. So instead of walking the tracer and forcing her out or making her do something, right? You're gonna like try and push at the Rein, right? When you don't have cooldowns, right? And now this is forcing defensive cooldowns instead of aggressive cooldowns, right? See this?
Mhm.
You're gonna trade with this cooldown because you're like, I got the cooldown, I must go aggressive now. But no, it's a defensive cooldown, right? It's to bail you out. It's not to like re-enable you, right? And now that cooldown expires, you're still dying. You run out of shield, you run out of health, right? And now it's your turn, and you can't do anything, right? See this? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So now it's your turn, and you can't do anything, right? So it's really important that you conserve resources, right? Push things that make sense, right? Like maybe like walk in the tracer a bit, force her to either blink back this way, right, or blink out and run back towards her team, right? Or if she blinks into your backline, you just start backing up and walking at her, and then she eventually has to do something, right? But if you just walk straight at the Rhine, A, you bait bad defensive cooldowns, and B, you're trading when you really shouldn't be, right? It's not your turn, right? Wait until it's your turn.
Mhm.
There's still fight in me yet. Come on and face me.
30 seconds.
All right, again.
I just like.
Go ahead.
I just get blown up from the left because the Tracer's just shooting my ass.
Yeah, I mean, But you can solve that. I literally just said like you even know you can do this, right? We talked about this. Like you told me like you were thinking about this in VOD review, right? Is like you can just walk at this guy.
Yeah, at this time I couldn't because I was pretty sure Vol almost had Shatter or it was like really close to it, so I feel like I couldn't. But that's why I was like I have to sit on this guy.
Yeah, but your solution to that isn't just walking at Vol, you know?
Yeah.
Like it should be to maybe like LOS the tracer, like walking over here and hiding behind this part of the cart, right? You know? There's still solutions other than walking at Vol. Also, again, you should be encouraging your team to check the spot. There's no one here this time, but like it should still be happening. Don't walk straight at the cart, unless you can like confirm that that's happening, right? So it looks like your team is checking.
People are dead right now, so I'm like, yeah, we can go.
Yeah, it's probably okay. Like this tracer would have to set up. So, oh, the tracer died actually. You're good. Okay, yeah.
Halo is in my charge. Move it. Don't worry, my friend. Let them out.
Again, right? This time Vol doesn't have shatter. Like you're still ignoring the tracer, right? Tracer's on your right, right? This is the real angle. This is what matters, right? Not this, right? So walk over here, hit the tracer, force her out, make her go commit really hard in one direction or another, right? And then make a decision from there, right?
Yeah.
Vol doesn't have shadow this time. There's no reason to be concerned. I guess maybe you guys were trying to communicate the window fire strike, but like
Yeah.
at the same time, like
no play.
yeah, at the same time, like this is the priority, right? Unlucky. All right. There goes Cap. Nice.
Ready for battle.
Come
Alright.
back on ball.
We're gonna speed through this in like 5 minutes so I can get Pineapple in before I have to go.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Barrier up.
But anyways, just in general, I think you do this too much. This is okay if you like you really want to secure this for some reason. But the vast majority of the time, if you watch out, like almost every monkey is holding here.
Mhm.
Because like they just like then people walk into them, they step out, they bubble, they get DM or bubble depending on the situation, right? They get their double bubble, right, and then they jump out, right?
Yeah, I do it sometimes. I'm not sure why I didn't do it this time.
Well, this is what you do almost all the time. I've almost never seen you not do this. It's just not very efficient, right? You got to zap a
Yeah.
diva for like half a second, right?
Yeah.
That's your bubble, right? Alright, so you need to come back earlier, I think, and then actually play the high ground. So like right here, it's like, okay, you like I don't know why you're looking back towards cart when you know that this is happening, right? You just saw the whole team go in through here, right?
Mhm.
So at this point, right, you probably shouldn't have committed bubble, but you were dropping into a diva, so I guess that's okay. Maybe you shouldn't have dropped into the diva, I don't know. But like you need to be jumping up, not into the team, but like up here, right? And then playing like the standard spot, right?
Yeah.
But you need to do this a lot earlier. Like you're just looking around for some reason. I mean, looking around's never really that bad, but like not when it costs you like speed and decision making, right? You want to look around earlier, right? So that way you have the ability to make the decision on time, right?
Mhm.
Second is like you drop here for some reason when like your whole team is up here, right? So like your
I
Baps
don't
here,
have bubble.
yeah, but like you can just sit here, right? What are they gonna do about it?
Yeah.
You have healing. If the diva pushes you, she's pushing to 4 people and inting, right?
Mhm.
But dropping actually makes you harder to heal and harder to help. And you cannot, and if the diva comes up here, right, your team can no longer like just contribute like basic damage and like blocking, right?
Yeah.
Right, like you could be up here zapping these people. It'd be great, right? Instead you're here, able to shoot nothing except like a Rein in your face, which kind of sucks, right? Being starting to a bad bubble, you oh no.
Dropping in.
Oh, that was a miss. That was
Yeah.
a straight miss.
Yeah.
Sometimes you still do this.
This is also a questionable jump. You missed it again, right?
Look at that. Look at those plat mechanics.
Yeah.
I think
James
that's
the
a
winning
bad
though.
Ryan.
Huh?
That one might. That one. Did I get hit by the Ryan? That one might have been less egregious.
I'm not sure, but like you don't need to land on the ledge, right? You just need to like land on the platform. You don't need to be like very like, you know, what's it? Precise about it. Like there's like a margin for error, like an acceptable margin of error, right? And if you're always trying to push it to like the absolute limit, right? In terms of the margin of error when it's not necessary, then that's when you make mistakes, right? In Dota, there's a guy called Eternal Envy. And Eternal Envy pushes it to the limit on everything, even when it makes literally 0 sense. And he dies all the time in really stupid ways, even as a professional player. He's famous. He's literally famous for it. He just dies in like really dumb ways all the time because he's always like exploring the limits of possibility, right? Like it's not important right there that you land on the edge, right? So you can get more damage on the monkey or on the Rein. It's more important that you land on the high ground, right? And then from there, right, you can do whatever. All right. So why is this less good later? That's the most generous description of EE I've ever heard. So why is this? Why does this not make sense now when it made sense earlier?
Car's already passed me.
It's already past you, right? So it's less likely that the enemy team will like walk here with a bunch of cleavable targets that won't burst you, right? And instead, they're all going high ground, right? And this makes your situation here very awkward, right? That jump's okay. Under. Don't be indecisive. Yes.
Bubble.
But you have primal. You keep doing this. Like your team's committing, right? I guess everyone bailed actually. Never mind. Maybe not. Oh, but your Hans is like taking angle. Like you want to cause chaos here, right? You guys burned an ult. You guys burned cooldowns getting in, right? So at that point, honestly, I think your first jump should be going straight in. I'm not even sure about the bubble, right? You're close to primal. Like you got bubble from the Zarya, right? And you should be able to expect that bubble because like, you know, she has nothing else to do, right? So this bubble is kind of questionable because it doesn't actually block this guy off from his healers very much, right? I mean, actually, that's a BAP down there, right? So I guess it does. But like, you'd much rather have this bubble blocking these guys off, right? So that means like, since you're dropping on this guy, that's fine. But like when you're approaching primal, I want to see you like jumping, like as your Zarya bubble expires, jump at these guys with bubble and then start primaling, right? If you need to. Like that's just way more impact than what you're doing, right? Because you just burn all your cooldowns to get out, right? When there's an ult going on, right? Obviously the strategy's not the best, but it's your team's turn, right? Get as much out of your turn as you can, right? Right? And now people are getting picked, right? And now it's their turn, right? See how this works?
Yeah.
Get the most out of your turn before it's their turn and someone on your team dies, right? Just look up. He's above you. He literally got all the way around you.
I got baited.
I mean, the Lucio's just never on ground level. Like, good Lucios are never there, right? Alright, am I running out of time? I think I'm running out of time.
We full hold them, so
Pineapple, are you still here? We'll keep going while we're waiting. It's unfortunate. Remember though, if your team is not holding here, right? Look where your team is, right? Where's your BAP a second ago? Find that spot. This is where your team's holding, right? If your team is not holding all on top of here, right? Be very careful peeking this because there's no point, right? If you're gonna peek this, it needs to be like a farm for ult using bubble, right? So as they try to rotate in front of you, then you drop bubble and try to farm, right? But for the most part, your team is looking to be aggressive here, right? In this spot, right? See where your supports are? They're looking to fight here, right? Which means you need to save cooldowns so that you can aggressively engage when they try to turn the corner, you know?
Yeah.
Supports dictate where you fight. This is not where you want to fight, right? This is not the spot, right? So you losing all your cooldowns here is really bad. Alright, so we'll wrap up now because Pineapple's here. So for your Rein, because Just be more attentive to off angles, right? Again, patience. That's the most important thing when there's stuff happening in your backline, right? Once you've solved that stuff in your backline, then you go as hard as you want, right? But you can't go hard while there's stuff going on in your backline. For your monkey, it's really important that you stop trying to trade, right? Trading is not how you play monkey, especially. It's like you trade when when your team has literally nothing else to do, right? And you're trying to farm ults, in which case you're not really trying to trade, to be honest. You're just trying to like take damage for your nano, right? But you're not running an Ana here, so there's no reason for that. And it's also not an organized environment, so you can't really realistically expect that anyways. So yeah, so your monkey just like be more careful with your cooldowns. Again, like a lot of times you just kind of like walk in, trade your bubble, and then jump out, right? And that's just not really how you should be playing, right? Like you need to look for active opportunities to engage, right? To start fights, and then from there, right? If you need to disengage, right? The safer you can start the fight, the better, right? Which is why dropping from high ground is better, right? But if you need to start the fight, you got to start the fight, right? Kiting a fight as soon as you start it is something you need to do, or something that you only do when it's coordinated by the team and it's like everyone's on the same page, right? Like you need to be very vocally commenting to the team that you're trying to bait them into ulting, right? Does that make sense? All right. Yeah. Hope that's helpful. Gotta wrap up.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Yep. See ya.